we're back for another episode of Girl Do It For You. So let's just talk about social media for like 5 minutes. I don't know. I obviously, with being on this platform, doing what I do, social media is a really big part of my life. But I don't necessarily love social media. I think social media can be very damaging. But I want to always post like the most real, the most authentic, the most raw, the like real me, that if you were to meet me in person, you would know that what you see is what you're gonna get. I don't ever want to make you think that like my life is perfect, because it's clearly not. Like, and the whole reason I started this podcast is so you guys could relate to it and you guys could have something that's not showing you the shiny parts of life and that everything's amazing, because let's be honest, most people's Instagram, TikToks, YouTubes, anything, it's a highlight reel of their life. It's only the good. You never see the bad, never see the downside. You only see what people choose to post, and generally it's good, it's happy, it's the great things that are happening in life, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you would never know the struggles that people face. And the whole point of my podcast is to show you that there are real things that we go through and you're not alone. And all of these things are very real and they're very accurate, and I'm going through them, you're probably going through them. Like, everything that everyone's been through, you can, like, someone somewhere will relate to it, I promise. So it's like, I want you guys to know that. And so I don't ever want to be faking it on any sort of platform for you. Like, if you were to meet me, you'd be like, damn, she's literally just like what she's like on social media, you know? So I just don't ever want to not post the real version of myself. Like, I feel like I do a pretty good job at posting the real version of myself sometimes, and don't get me wrong, there are things I post that are definitely just a highlight reel, but like, everyone does that. I feel like that's very common for certain social medias, but like, I don't have an aesthetic on Instagram. I don't know, I don't always look my best when I'm doing things. Like right now, I'm currently sitting here in my PJs with my hair up, glasses on, no makeup, like took a shower after work, and here I am. So like, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know, you'll see the real version of me is just sitting here on my futon that is overly crowded with a TV next to me, and like, there's a bunch of wedding decorations shoved in the corner, like, because that's just life. Like, I don't have a podcast room, don't have a lot of equipment for this yet, so it's like, that's just real life. But I feel like sometimes, a lot of the time, social media can be very damaging, because all you see are the highlight reels of people's lives. You know, that's what people show. Everyone wants that. So like, you look at a lot of people and you're like, well, how do they look like that? Well, how do they do this? How do they always look perfect? And it's like, well, they don't. That's what they want you to see, and that's what they want you to think a lot of the time. And it's like, sometimes, you know, it's the angle of how they're standing, or they look so tall and they're not, or they look a certain way and it's just not it, or, you know, they've edited people out of a photo to a side so it looks like they have this huge place to themselves, like the ocean or something, you know. I just feel like it can be damaging, especially as a girl, to see all of those things. You know, I see people on social media and I'm like, damn, kind of wish like I could do that, and every time I try to take a picture like that, it doesn't work, or I can't get this right, or I can't do that, you know what I mean? Like, it can be bad for that, and just for multiple different reasons. I am trying to lower my screen time on my phone, because I spend the majority of my day on my phone. Like, at work, I'm on my phone sometimes for work. It goes, if it's my boss, you know, I need to answer it. I have my emails on my phone, so if I'm not at my desk, I'm on my phone. And I have 2 phones at work. So it's like, I have my personal phone, my work phone, my computer screens, my phone at my desk, like, and I just don't love being on it that much, but like, I have to, it's my job. And then I come home from my 9 to 5 and I do social media from my phone, so it's like, I'm having to sit on my phone and post on Instagram, post on TikTok, and then I go to the computer and I'm doing edits for YouTube, so it's like, it's just always on my phone. And I am trying to like, not just mindlessly scroll on TikTok or Instagram, or find myself switching from app to Twitter to Threads to this. Like, there's so many new apps and platforms out nowadays, it's actually ridiculous. But I feel like it's so bad to just sit on social media for like no point, you know, like just scrolling to just scroll. I've also kind of grown to hate Instagram because I used to work for someone and I was her social media guru. I actually used to work for two people like that, and I despised Instagram because of it. And I've kind of started to coming around to it now that I'm doing all these things, but even TikTok sometimes, like it feels like a chore and I hate that. And so I'm trying my best not to aimlessly scroll, not to like when I'm bored, pick up my phone, like go do something else, go distract myself, you know, read a book, play with the dogs, take the dogs for a walk, you know, when my fiance's home from work, let's sit down, phones down, have a conversation and not be on our phones. And I'm also trying to, like, I've been really good about it. I usually don't go on my phone, excuse me, I usually don't go on my phone first thing in the morning. I'll usually not go on my phone until I'm at work. So like get up, get ready, all of that. I don't touch my phone, or on my drive to work if I'm, you know, flipping through music or if I'm at a red light. But I am just trying to be better about it because my screen time last Tuesday was it like 8.5 hours of the day. Isn't that actually insane? Like that's ridiculous. There's no need for my screen time to be that high at all. So I really, but it's difficult, like with this job and everything, it requires me to be on my phone a lot and it requires me to do social media, but it's so bad for me and I'm really trying to not be on it as much, but to work, like, you know, post what I have to post and then put my phone down and not be on it. Now, if someone texts me, all of that, that's fine, but like I'm not going to just sit there and scroll, like I said, aimlessly through socials. That's not what I want to do. I have two of my friends have actually deleted TikTok completely off their phones because they just don't want to, you know, deal with it anymore. They don't want to be sitting there doing that. My one friend said that it's too distracting for her because she'll get stuck on it for hours. And she's like, I don't get any work done sometimes. Like I just sit on my phone and I'm like, oh my god, it's been an hour. You know, and like my other friend, she's trying to read more, but she feels like she gets stuck on the app, and I'm like, yeah, so she just deleted it off her phone completely. And it's like, I don't have the privilege to do that because I post my TikToks on there, or my podcasts, sorry. So I can't just delete it, but they both deleted it. And you know, more power to them because I don't even know if I didn't do what I do, I don't know if I'd delete it. I don't know if I could. You know, I feel like I'd be like, oh, but I want to know what's happening. Like, I want to keep up. I want to post. So it's like, I don't even know if I could delete it. But they have both deleted it. And so many people I know are just slowly coming off of social media because it's just so much. And like, I don't blame them. Social media also scares me a little bit in a way because, like I said, I want to post real, raw, authentic things. I want you guys to know me that I am in real life, and I don't want to fake stuff on social media or on the podcast. I don't want to fluff stuff up. Like, I'm going to tell you stories as true as they are. I'm not going to like alter things, you know, like if I'm wrong or whatever and I'm telling a story, like I'm not going to fluff it. We're not going to any of that. But in that sense, it scares me a lot for like putting stuff out there because it is my life at the end of the day. And if there's something that happened between friends or family like that, are people really close to me and that affects me, and you know, even if I'm just telling a story, is I don't necessarily, like, I'm scared about posting stuff like that. Like, genuinely, the episode that came out last Friday, I was absolutely petrified to post it because I talk about friends and how you feel alone and all of that, and like it's scary to see what people's reactions are going to be to that, you know. Like, of course I wasn't talking about like certain people, but and I know every person that I probably was talking about in the podcast last week probably doesn't listen to or even know about it because they're not actually my friends. But it's like, it's terrifying to post something like that because what if my friends hear it and then they think it's about them and it's not, you know, it's not about that specific one. But I feel like they would know it's not about them because that's not their character, that's not them as a person. And if you think it's about you because the shoe fits, lace the bitch up. Like, I don't know, I'm so scared about posting on social media sometimes with the podcast that sometimes I'm like, oh no, what if someone hears this and thinks I'm talking bad about them? But it's like, I'm not talking bad about you. I am simply stating how your actions made me feel and what you did. Like, if I'm just telling a story and these are your actions in that story, and I didn't alter them, that's not my fault that you don't like how you acted because you did it. You know what I mean? Like, I was very scared, but it's like, that's just what happened. Like, I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling my story so that you guys relate to it, because I know somewhere someone out there relates to my story, and I know that the whole point of me starting this podcast was to tell my story for you guys to relate, to understand, so that you didn't feel so alone. So if I don't tell it, you know, like, no one's gonna know that happened, and I want to be relatable. I want you guys to know that, like, this is what life is like this is what I'm going through. Do you guys get it, you know? But I'm scared sometimes with some of the stuff I release. I'm like nervous about, oh well, what if so and so hears this and they say something because they think it's about them, but it's not, it's about so and so, and I know they don't listen. And it's like, I'm not putting people's names out there, I'm not putting people's business out there like that. I'm not sitting here dropping names, or I'm not even really saying exactly who the people are. I'm just like generalizing it, because I'm not trying to villainize anybody. I'm not trying to put anybody in that position. I'm going to give everybody their privacy, but it's like, you never know the feedback or the reaction you're going to get. And that terrifies me a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I am petrified 95% of the time when I release these episodes, because you never know. And I know there are a lot of people that don't listen to my podcast, so I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about that. But like, I don't know, it scares me a lot to think about that. Just, but that's the whole point of it, you know, like telling it, getting out there, telling my story. And I guess that's just one of the side effects or the risks that comes with putting your life out there. Like, it's scary, but usually it's rewarding. I don't know. I guess that's just my outlook on the social media. And I honestly, I don't know how people do this that are like famous. Like, I got my first, like my second-ish kind of like mean comments on TikTok the other day, and it sucked. I was like, damn, you're really being rude out here for what? And then I was like, on my page, no. So I blocked them, but it's like, that was one for me, and I was like, I don't really like that. No. No, ma'am. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't love that. So I'm like, I don't know how people do this all the time, full time. Like, I'm petrified releasing an episode that 5 people listen to. Like, that's ridiculous. But it's like, still, that's a big part of my life, and once it's out there, it's out there. But that's just, I guess, what you get when you give your real raw self to the internet, and you, like, that's kind of something you sign up for when you do that, I guess. Like, I'm not trying to complain, because it's a blessing to be able to do this. But it is absolutely terrifying sometimes, and no one tells you that part about it, you know? It's like, no one warned me for this shit. But I just don't ever want to fake anything for you guys. I don't want you guys to ever, if you ever meet me and be like, that's not the same person. Like, I just want to be real and raw and give you guys the true self of me, and go through the proper experiences without glamorizing them and leaving details out, so it's like all glitz and glamour and, oh my god, my life's amazing, because no, it's not. My life sucks sometimes, and I'm gonna be brutally honest. I'm gonna tell you, like, the shit sucks. And I don't know, it's scary sometimes, because most people put out there the pretty side, the good side, and it's not real life. But when you don't see a lot of people doing it, it's kind of scary to be the one to, like, is this like taboo? And it feels like it, but I don't know, I kind of like the idea of social media not being perfect, not being a filter or edited or anything. Like, I'm just sitting here in my PJs, you know, talking to my besties, like, having a little rant sesh, a little, how you feeling? Because that's how I'm feeling. Like, that's the whole point of this. Like, I want you guys to be able to feel like I'm sitting here, just, we're having a little bestie chit chat, like a little hang, you know. That's just, I don't know, that was my whole point for starting the podcast in the first place, was like, I just want everyone to have a place where they can go and feel validated and have a person that understands. And like, you guys can go to the Instagram and leave like your questions or your stories, and we can talk about them, or we can not. I'll just listen. Like, I'm fine with that too. So it's like, I just want that little place for you guys to have it where you can be like, like, this is not okay, and we can talk it out and we can discuss it and like figure it out. Like, that's really what I want from this. And I don't know, I feel like we're doing a good job at that so far, but you guys need to let me know for sure, because I don't know what I'm doing. But like that, I don't know, if everything's so glamorized, it's very dangerous to watch that life. So I like the fact that we don't glamorize things over here, and we're just honest. Sometimes maybe too honest, but that's what you get, I guess. But that's my thoughts on social media. You guys should let me know if you agree with that, or if you think I'm absolutely off my mind. Yeah, I don't know, should we keep social media all prim and proper, a highlight reel, or should we just be honest with the world and be like, listen, I don't feel like doing my makeup today, I rolled out of bed, the hair is in a bun, it looks an absolute mess, probably hasn't been washed in 5 days. This is what you get. You know, like, I'm not getting dressed up to go to the grocery store. I'm sitting here in my spare room on a couch. I'm gonna be comfy to record this because I want to talk to you guys. And I don't know, that's just how I feel. Thanks for listening to another episode. Bye, honeys.